Hello there, and welcome to another edition of VE League presented by Metal Gear Speedrunners. We have our final Week 8 matchup between ApacheSmash and Plywood. Commentary today will be from Makarov360. Take it away, dude.
Hello, I'm Makarov360 and I will commentate this race. So a little bit about the runners. Apache, a really good runner, a 103 runner, amazing skills, great gameplay, and just all-round amazing runner. Plywood is a very old runner, runs a lot of games, but recently came back to MGS2 because of VE League. Um, Plywood has a 102, and another really good player, and yeah, it's going to be a really exciting race.
Who's that? Enemy sighted. Requesting backup unit.
Yeah, do that. Please follow Apache on Twitter at ApacheSmash.
It's the enemy.
Please
I
do
need
that.
help.
It's an order. So yeah, both of the runners are going to make their way to Olga, and we will see if Olga goes right or left. On very easy, it's ideal for Olga to go right. It's slightly faster. Yeah, let's see what Olga. And wow, they're actually in sync. That's surprising. That's perfectly in sync. So Apache has right side, Plywood has left side. Well, Plywood get the loop, and Plywood got the loop. It's really important that you get the loop, because if you don't get the loop, you are going to lose a lot of time. So no dive drops. There is a strat here where you mash square or you hold square if you're using turbo, and there is a small chance of you skipping the animation of falling down, and it saves a couple of frames. Another thing to mention is that after a recent survey with the runners, it was decided for turbo to be allowed, a turbo which was hidden in VSfix, which is a community patch that we all use, and this kind of turbo helps us with mashing through cutscenes and through codecs, and it's just a big quality of life improvement compared to mashing because of these problems and not being able to do a lot of mashing for a long period of time. Now Plywood is going the risky Jejunum strat, fast Jejunum, or swag Jejunum, and Jejunum. Engine room, I'm sorry, this is Jejunum. Engine room.
Understood. Assigning all personnel to the starboard entrance to the engine room.
Alright, so Plywood got swag engine room, while Apache went for regular engine room, and Plywood did the swag engine room correctly.
Arizona Bridge checkpoint passed. All non-essential personnel report to the holds in 10 minutes' time for the scheduled briefing session with the Commandant. You are ordered to continue manning your posts until that time.
So here Plywood is going to shoot that guard, which makes the last guard in this room go to sleep earlier, which allows you to go past him without getting spotted. Because if you don't do that, there is a slight chance of you getting spotted at the end, and you really don't want to get kicked. And coming up is Guard Rush. Guard Rush is a pretty difficult fight, and you can lose a lot of time on it if you don't do it correctly. Really good Guard Rush on Plywood, but Apache was struggling off bit with hitting his shots.
We initiated development of Metal Gear Ray as a countermeasure to these pirated weapons forces.
Now we are on to the most problematic rooms of the whole league, and it looks like Plywood is playing it really safe with hold 1 and going to FPV into first person view to shoot that guard, whilst Apache is going with the flick shot.
Every industrialized nation on the globe knows the specifications for Metal Gear. Worse yet,
Plywood is going with the quite risky
deploying their own.
domino roll, whilst Apache is going with the safe
They're
hold-ups.
all working on deploying their own Metal Gear.
Good.
Now for holds 3, you can do two,
World is about to see a
there are two
swarm of
possibilities
these
that
metal
you can do 2 spot photos or 3 spot photos. Plywood did 2 spot photos while Apache did 3 spot photos. 2 spot is slightly faster, however it can only be done on widescreen or 16 by 9 resolutions.
We the Marines.
And Plywood got successfully out of tanker. Oh no, a save boss. You hate to see that. So that's quite a decent save, time save for Apache, and quite a decent time loss for Plywood. Coming up, the Strat 8 Deep Sea Dock is not really interesting, there's not a lot to do, and you just have to wait for an elevator, basically. That's the whole room. And most people go for the extra M9 ammo. Especially if Plywood will do non-lethal Fatman, which I don't know if he will go for it, but that extra ammo helps a lot with non-lethal Fatman. Plywood is going to get the extra M9 ammo, and Apache will go with the old school with the 1974 strat, the caution strat. For the longest time, everybody thought that this caution strat actually saves 2 seconds, but it doesn't. So don't do it, just get the extra M9 ammo. Can never go wrong with extra ammo. So something that you will notice is that at least Plywood has the M9 on previous, which means that he did the first part of the menu trick. The menu trick will is not finalized, it's not complete, because all of these menus that you are going to do here, or actually lack of menus, will basically make it so that your M9 will be on previous after the Stillman cutscene. And the first step of it is to end tanker on the USP. The following step is to unequip the M9 before you reach the Pleskin cutscene, which is the cutscene coming up for Plywood. There are also two different strats. The one where you walk into the load zone, into the codec actually, and you answer the codec there, and the one where you cartwheel into the codec. I believe it's slightly faster to go into the codec and then cartwheel, but not by a lot. And now this is the final part of the menu trick, which is after the Stillman, after the Pliskin cutscene, you are not supposed to touch the M9. Don't equip it, don't do any menus, don't do anything, just don't touch it. And if you do that correctly, after this Stillman cutscene, you will have the M9 on previous. And the most interesting part of the run here is going to be bomb disposal, because you will see two different strats. ApacheSmash is going to go with the more traditional clockwise bomb disposal, while Plywood will go with the conveyor belt strat. The conveyor belt strat has two variations, the one where you pick up the boxes in strat F and strat E, and the one where you pick up the boxes in strat A and strat E. So we will see which variation Plywood does. And since he defused the bomb in strat B, he's going to do strat A and strat the strat A and strat E bombs, cardboard boxes. Many runners like to call this strat the AC strat, the air conditioning strat. So that was a pretty clean bomb disposal from actually strat A bomb defusal. The strat A bomb is very tricky, and a lot of runners struggle with it, especially near the beginning. And it's really tricky because you have to do a lot of crawling, a lot of coolant rises, and it's hard because we defuse that bomb from the opposite side, because you're not usually supposed to crawl around it and defuse it from the front. And oh no, that's a seam crouch for Apache. That's bad. And you saw Plywood pick up the strat A box.
Who's there?
Really nice claymore pickup from Apache. And now this is where the two routes kiss, in strat F. So at this point, you might notice that these routes are pretty much the opposite. The conveyor belt route goes counterclockwise, whilst the counterclockwise route goes clockwise. And they always meet depending on how fast the runners were, either in EF or strat F. So let's see how Apache deals with the strat A bomb. Played it safe, but at least it was first try. So that's what you want to do. You want to get that bomb first try, because otherwise you'll have to walk all around that small area and readjust your position. because you have to be at a specific distance from the bomb itself and at a specific distance from the pipes themselves. There, Ply would pick up the last box of the conveyor belt route, which is the Strat E bomb, and now you will see a glitch, which we don't perform in the regular route, the conveyor belt glitch, where you go onto the conveyor belt from the wrong side, because what you're supposed to do is climb onto the other side, go into another room, and from that other room you go into the actual conveyor belt. And
Who's
that's
there?
also, this glitch was discovered, which helps us get onto the conveyor belt early. And here you can see an exploit of the box, which is that guards are scared of boxes. Boxes are extremely scary. As soon as they see one, they run away. They don't want to deal with a box.
Who's there? Who's that?
Enemy sighted. Requesting backup unit.
Understood. Backup is being smashed to the lower level Strut D.
That's unfortunate. Plywood got shot, but at least he didn't get kicked. That's what matters. You really want to avoid getting kicked as much as possible in this run. And Apache got the sensor and defused the bomb first before the sensor, which for a long time was thought to be slower, but it was discovered by Bees, I believe, in a tournament race that it was actually faster to defuse the bomb first. And here Plywood will use the box from Strat E to go into Strat A, and he will end up ahead of Apache. Now, normally this strat saves only about 2 to 3 seconds if done perfectly. However, there were a lot of mistakes on Plywood's part and on Apache's part, and yeah, it's not that equal as it's supposed to be in this race. And nice timer for Plywood, 369. Nice. Now this part is really scary. You don't want to fall into the water. It's always such a unfortunate event when you fall into the water and you have to do the swim of shame. But I would avoided it. And Apache avoided it. And now Plywood is moving on to the first boss fight of the plan chapter, which is Fortune. So for Fortune we do a setup, which is we turn to the right, and we do 3 punches. That puts us in the correct position, so that Fortune will blow up the forklift as fast as possible. And it will give us the least amount of voice lines, because each voice line loses a few seconds, so you want Fortune to drop as little as possible in the fight. A lot of runners and people say that this fight is an auto-scroller, which it isn't, but it also is not completely an auto-scroller. It's a fake auto-scroller. It is an auto-scroller, but you can do things to speed it up, basically. That's the best way to put it. But at its core, it's still an auto-scroller, in my opinion. Decent fight for Plywood. and decent fight for Apache. Now we are already on to the second boss fight of the planned chapter, which is Fatman. We'll have to make our way back to Strat E and to the rooftop. I wonder if Plywood will do non-lethal Fatman, because Plywood knows how to do non-lethal Fatman. He's done it before in races, and I'm really curious to see if you're going to do it.
Who is that? It's the enemy. I need help.
Understood. I want an additional
I
unit
don't
sent to
see any
Strat F
M9
to
equipped,
allow the enemy to escape.
so I don't know. Yeah, it looks like two lethal Fatmans. Nice cartwheel over the stairs from Plywood. And that's a slow bomb for Plywood, that's a shame. And that's done. Oh, that's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. Plywood tried to go for the new setup for lethal Fatman, but he missed it. You are supposed to shoot Fatman before he reaches that middle area, like Apache did right now. But it was still a pretty good fight. Fast one. And Apache gets good RNG and Fatman goes down, goes south, and slow bomb defuse, but still a decent fight. And now it's basically just a lot of cutscene skipping. That was a bad cartwheel from Apache. Now we've received the BDU, the enemy body armor, from Olga, and we are making our way to Shell 1 core, where we're going to meet Special Agent Richard Ames. Plywood is a good runner, so he uses D-pad. Apache is another good runner, so he uses D-pad. Just don't use analog. Don't do it. Plywood is doing the BMN, AK menu, which is you do the menu as you're picking up the AK.
Yo, what are you doing?
Will Plywood do the Claymore strat, and he's doing the Claymore strat. So just turn to the right, put the Claymore down, shoot it, and go either left or right, it's completely preference. And shoot that guard, or cartwheel into him. Cartwheel into this guard, and pick up the D-mic. Apache did not go for the Claymore strat. Apache did say that he's more old school and that he's not going to do this Claymore strat.
Understood. Reinforcements are on their way to the front of the elevator on B2 of the Shell 1 core.
And let's see what aims Plywood gets. That's new. I've never seen that setup before. I know that there is a faster setup, but I've never seen it done from there. That was interesting. While Apache is going for the good old classic setup. Oh, Plywood is doing the cheeky post buffer strat. That's a mid-tier aims. It's a decent aims. Not too good, not too bad. Apache is not going for the post strat, for the post buffer strat. And that's not a really good aims, but it's also not the worst aims. The worst aims is northwest.
Who is that?
There's someone else here. Send backup ASAP.
And another thing that you saw both runners do is unequip the BDO before going into that room. What that does is it makes the load slightly faster because loads are slower while you are wearing the BDO. Plywood is now going to go to strat F and nice cartwheel over the stairs to pick up the PSG-1. And after the PSG-1 we're going on to the most infamous fight in the game, Harrier. Yeah, Apache tried to go for that, but it was a little bit early and he fell down. Oh no, that's a bad cartwheel. I don't know what's with the EF bridge. Everything wrong happens in EF. No, AK strats from Plywood. Where we see the AK strat from Apache. No AK strat from Apache either. You can shoot the AK in that room and it makes a guard come through that door as you're reaching it. And it's a free cartwheel into that door. Nice, Plywood did not miss the cipher sensor. And the Plywood did not allow the breach. Apache didn't miss that sensor. Let's see Harrier. That's 1, 2. So Plywood is going to go for the 3+5 aerial setup.
Right! Catch!
This is pretty much equal to or slightly faster than the 5+1 aerial, like Apache does. And that's high damage 5+1, that's really good. Oh no, he missed the +1 shot. That's bad. So Plywood is actually going to be ahead because of that. Oh no. Oh no. That's bad. You hate to see that. You hate to see it. Oh, and pipe strats. You don't see that often. So because of that unfortunate mishap by Apache, Plywood is slightly even more in the in first place, in front of Apache, and yeah, Apache got the leap of faith. That's what you want to see. And let's see Perimeter, one of the hardest rooms in the game.
encountered the enemy requesting backup.
Understood. Eliminate the target.
No D-Lime specials.
Return to your positions. Tighten security. Understood. All units exercise extreme caution.
Oh, Plywood was kind of close to the south rail. You don't want to be that close to it. I've learned that from experience. And both of them got past the perimeter successfully. So coming up is one of the worst things in this whole game, in the whole series, the MGS2 Nikita pickup. The hitbox of the Nikita is deceptively large, and if you miss it, it apparently shrinks down to an atom. I don't know why, it's just good game design, thank you Kojima. But Plywood got the Nikita successfully. Wow, that's a fast elevator. Really nice. That's what Plywood did. There is the cold drinks setup. It was discovered by Plywood himself, and it's a setup for cartwheeling through that room without cartwheeling the walls.
What are you doing?
And now, the question that is on everybody's mind. Will Apache kill the president? So, Apache was once on world record pace and killed the president on very easy. It takes 2 Nikita shots to kill the president on very easy. And he didn't. That's what you want to see.
I took these photos.
Now let's look for cues from Plywood if he's going to do swim glitch or not. Plywood is ahead, but not by a lot. It would be pretty risky to go for swim glitch and fail it in this situation, but who knows? A one cycle swim glitch will put Plywood quite ahead by a bit, and it's pretty risky at this point. Let's see. And let's see the swim glitch. One cycle or not. And that's a one cycle swim glitch. Nice. By this point, Apache is pretty much forced into swim glitch. He has to do swim glitch. And he's shooting the SOCOM, which is a tailwind. D-Limes goes for the swim glitch. So I think we will see another swim glitch. Indeed, we will see. Oh no, that's you don't want to see that when you're doing swim glitch. That's bad. That's already a 2 cycle, 3 cycle, and he's opting out of swim glitch. That was a massive time loss for Apache, but a massive time gain for Plywood. It's really unfortunate. It would have been better if Apache just swimmed from the start. It would have been a lot better, and you wouldn't have lost that much time. And no BMN specials today. Now Plywood will lose a few seconds over Apache because swim glitch, if you do swim glitch, it means that this door is not opened, so you have to open it, which loses a bit of time. Will we see bugs today? Let's see. No bugs for Plywood. In this room that Plywood is currently in, there is a small chance of getting something called a phantom radio call. It has happened only once in League, and it's really interesting when you see it, but very annoying when you get it.
Who's there?
Hopefully we won't see one. And yeah, no phantom radio calls. Nice quick rise from Apache. And what Plywood did there is a glitch called Emma Bump. If you bump Emma into that load zone, she will spawn in the next room slightly closer to the actual exit onto the bridge, and it saves 3-4 seconds because walking with Emma is really slow, as you can see. That was a bit odd from Apache. He missed the guard. That's unfortunate. Now, Plywood is already at the best part of the game, sniping. Why is it the best part of the game, you might wonder? Because it's boring. At this point of the run, there is really not a lot to do or to talk about. It's mostly just waiting around for guards to move into your crosshair and to shoot them. Nothing really special happening. However, after sniping, there's a really exciting boss fight. One of the best boss fights in the series. So there are a couple of things that you don't want to do during sniping, and you don't want to look directly at Emma, to aim directly at Emma, to lean in first person, or to move in random directions. You want to stand on a specific spot, which is where the night vision goggles, the thermal vision goggles spawn, because that spot influences Emma and she doesn't fall that often. If Emma falls, you lose about 7 seconds per fall, and Plywood is showing his artistic skills. Really a modern Picasso of MGS2. That's just beauty, should be in a museum. This part of the game is really relaxing. You can take a bathroom break and just call Snake, sorry, Pliskin, to do the job for you. Some people like that a lot, especially JMC. Just call Snake, Pliskin, and just do whatever you want for the next minute. Yeah, you can do that if you want. But in general, it's just a nice moment, a long moment to think about what you did during this race, the mistakes, the thing that you did very well, and just your current pace. It's a nice breather, especially since the next part of the game is really action-packed and full of boss fights. There you can see the beautiful things that you can do with Turbo. It's an art form. It's just amazing, that's all that I can say. You can knock on air, you can squat. So for Plywood comes the best fight in the game, Vamp 2. It's the longest fight in the game, it's 69 minutes and 420 seconds. And yeah, you really don't want to miss it. Be very careful, or else you'll miss it. It's really a wonderful exposition of game design, and yeah, just look at its beauty. It's amazing, that's all that I can say. It's a really good fight, it's a long one, and it's beautiful game design. Apache is now killing seagulls. That's a tradition per se because seagulls really hate Shell 1 to connecting bridge, and they will always go in front of your scope and will block your shot to the sensor. I've seen so many people blow up the cipher just because a seagull flew in front of it. And now we notice a very sad moment. Emma died, and we find out that Pliskin is actually Snake. My mind is blown. Such a good reveal.
It's been a while, hasn't it? Jack the Ripper?
You know this fellow?
So this is our
Remember
father.
me, don't
His
you?
name is
You've
Solidus.
grown.
He's the former president of the United States. He has
High concentration of
tentacles,
cerebral
and
implants.
he's a sword
Have they
master.
altered your memory
He's
too?
quite an interesting villain. That's all that I can say.
Olga, you can't keep this up.
We also
They're bound
find
to
out
find
that
you.
Olga is
Listen,
actually
I'll
on
free you
our
and leave you
side, on
alive.
the good side,
Brace yourself.
but she was forced into being on the bad side, on the evil side. So, yeah, another interesting reveal of the story. And here it's faster to call Rose because just waiting for Rose is slow. Rose is really annoying in this one. A lot of codex from her. So Jejunum.
There's
Jejunum
somebody
is
there.
quite a well-known room. It's known for all of the wrong reasons. It's one of the hardest rooms in the entire game. Oh, that's a bad card wheel. You don't want to see that. But at least he didn't get kicked and he made a Jejunum gap. That's all that matters. Here we will just listen to some codex. You know, we all need some scissors, 61 of them. We also find out that this entire game was actually just a recreation and it's all made from GW, George Washington. But not the President George Washington, the AI, the artificial intelligence, which is named after George Washington for some reason. And here we learn how to use a katana, sorry, a high frequency blade, because of course we have to have a high frequency blade. Who doesn't have one? It's a blade that has a high frequency. It vibrates really fast, and it can be transformed from a lethal blade into a non-lethal blade. It's multi-purpose. Who doesn't want one? You can order your own from the Konami shop. It's $69.20. Here we will ask for some more scissors, another 61 set of scissors. And here, for some reason, Japanese Tengus attack us. I don't know why, but this whole underwater base has Japanese Tengus in it. I don't know why. And a really good and successful Tango 1 skip. Now for Tango 2 with setup we will see. That's the best trick setup. The best trick setup is not really faster, it's just easier to do. It's easier to hit than actually kill the Tango. Another interesting thing is that physics don't exist in MGS2. As you can see, you can cartwheel into walls and you won't stop, momentum is not a thing, and forces are also not a thing. Physics is fake. And that's a decent Tango 2 from Plywood. Now we will have to listen to Solidus explain that this was basically a simulation of MGS1. Has reasons.
To retire, Solid Snake's brother. S3 stands for Solid Snake Simulation.
And some little fun facts about this. You cannot skip this. It's impossible to skip. Because sections like this, like this one credits and others, are based not on the gameplay itself, but on an audio file. So you can do whatever you want, it will not end until the audio file itself finishes. So the only theoretical way to skip this is to change that audio file with a shorter one, which is sadly not allowed by the rules unless you run cheats percent, in which basically everything you want is allowed.
You came in handy as bait. Jack, those days during the Civil War were as real as they come. Every day was absolute, split between life and death. You ran from it, and now you've been led back to war by something less than real.
So the ray fight is really easy or very easy. You just have to kill 3 rays, and a critical shot on rays is a one shot again. And really good, decent ray fight.
Are you awake yet, Jack?
Avoided a save boss, and now we are going to be choked by our own father, which is the former president of the United States.
That I underestimated you. I'll squeeze the answers out of you instead, my son.
On very easy, you just have to mash for 10 seconds.
What do you hope to hear? You know he doesn't know anything.
It's not him I want the answers from.
Now we're going to talk with GW and learn how insane GW actually is. We are basically a puppet of the Patriots, the Lalilulelo, and we are tasked with killing Solidus, and we will succeed in that. Hopefully. So for a very easy one punch or swipe and then 3 swipes or 2 swipes and a stab, that's basically it.
Let's go.
That was a decent phase 1 and a short dash, which is ideal.
This is where it gets interesting.
That was a misstep.
Let's go. Over here.
And GG to Plywood.
Do you remember this place?
Of course. This is where we first met. I remember now. Today is the day I met you.
That's it.
So let's see Apache's solidus fight.
I think I found something to pass along to the future.
What?
He said all living things want their genes to
That's
live
unfortunate. A
Are you
misstab,
talking about
and
the baby?
he's going to get a long
Yeah.
dash. That's a
The
decent
genes
phase
are the
1.
only thing you pass on. There are too many things that aren't written into our DNA.
And of
It's up
course
to
everybody
us
knows
to
that
teach that
this is
to
where
our
things
children.
get interesting,
What
and
kind of things?
phase 2 begins.
About the environment, our ideas, our culture, poetry, compassion, sorrow, joy.
Oh
We'll tell them
no,
everything
that's
together.
bad. You don't want
Is
to
that
get
a proposal?
swiped by
This is
solidus.
for your ears only.
Oh no. Solidus is being GG. That's GG to Apache. A really unfortunate solidus fight, but still a decent one.
I stare at the stars and the sky up above and think, what am I made of? Am I full of sorrow? Am I hurt and pain? Or am I filled with love? I walk by myself on the streets below and ask every child I know, do you think tomorrow will bring sun or rain? Which one of these will show? I can't say goodbye to yesterday, my friend. I keep holding on till the end. Out of the darkness, there is no other way than the light leading to yesterday. It's there that I'll find inner peace, not war, and dreams that I let slip away. I'll find the joyfulness I'm looking for way back in yesterday. from you to me. I fall to my knees, I cry and I cry. Love, do not pass me by. Happy ever after, please stay for a while. Make time refuse to fly. I can't say goodbye to yesterday, my friend, 'cause I know how good it has been. Facing forever, here I stand, come what may. Bring the old, bring the new.
Hello, Plywood and Apache.
It's there that I'll
What were your thoughts on the race?
peace, not war, and dreams that I let slip away. I'll find the joyfulness I'm looking for way back in yesterday.
What are my thoughts on the race? I think that a 34 in Ghost Babel probably isn't possible.
Yeah, I think that I will say the same.
It's probably impossible. As soon as I messed up Swim Glitch, I'd 100% lost. There was no way to come back. But Plywood played really well throughout.
Everything was really close after Harrier, then the gap started to appear.
Yeah, it's rough. If you miss, like, if you go for 5+1, if you miss a shot, lose like 15 to 18 seconds, you're in big trouble if the other person nails it. I can't even like complain about anything. Like, I got the high damage and everything, I just didn't do the +1 shot correctly. It happens.
And at Swim Glitch, it was a good thing that you bailed out at the last moment, but it would have been really bad if you continued to raid.
I just couldn't get my hands to do it. I was like, I tried it twice now, and sometimes you just know it isn't happening, and that was one of those times. Did Plywood nail it? Because I've seen his Swim Glitch like technique. It seems to just work every time.
Yeah, it was one cycle, but it was quite a bad one cycle, I would say.
Slow one cycle. What, did he rise up really slowly or what?
It was just, I had to use the corner, but it wasn't, I wouldn't call it, any one cycle is not bad. It's kind of like,
well, I mean,
it's
I
not
knew what he was talking
ideal
about.
one cycle, but
I knew what he
had
meant.
to right up the corner.
Oh well,
Just have
GG
to-
man. Do you have your
GG.
splits or anything? Do you know what time you've got?
No, I wasn't running splits. It's 2. I think I got like a low 3. This is not a. There's like no way this is a 2.
Yeah, because I was thinking like, even this run isn't great, but I'm pretty sure it'll be like a low 104.
No, I think.
Oh wow!
Wow, dude, let's go.
That's amazing. So 1 or 2
nice.
That's a
history
sick
time.
time.
Welcome to
I
the
would.
freaking club, baby. I got my goal for VE League. I'm satisfied.
Yeah, 101 by the
Decent,
end of
mate.
Link.
Well, I wasn't beating that even with the best run in the world, so like I wasn't gonna PB by like 33 seconds, no matter what I did. So nice, dude.
Skin of my teeth, but I've joined. I'm getting really consistent with these 102s. I'm super excited for the next few weeks. I'm gonna get mid 2.
I've long said that once you break about a minute barrier in this game, you just that becomes like your new standard. No one like does a 102 once and then they can't get near it again. It doesn't happen. Yeah, I'm sure I'll get a 102 before the end of League, but it isn't today. I'm assuming this is like a high 103, low 104 then.
Yeah, if I would say more, I would lean more to a low 104.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
Hey, good job. You
Wow.
joined the
420.
420 club. I think only you and me have gotten that. So, GG.
That's the perfect
Alright,
time.
I hate to dive, but I'm getting a phone call. I'm gonna have to go. GG's, dude.
GG.
GG. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this race. I certainly did. It was a really good race to really good times, and yeah, don't forget to watch the next VE League race on Thursdays on the MGS2 channel.